down to the ground. What goes around comes around. You won't put the flame out, you can't get to me. Say what you wanna say, go take it all away, but I'm here to stay. No, you can't get to me. And there is no barricade that I can tear away. Shoot me down, go fire away, away. But I'm a heavyweight, I'm a heavyweight, I'm a heavyweight, I'm a heavyweight.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Contest to Speed. We are here tonight for round number 3 of the AM3 Championship here in the Red Bull Ring in Austria. I am Red Devil, and I am joined by Fraggly. How you doing? Uh,
races in these last couple ones, so really excited to see what they can do on the fastest track.
awesome. Sorry, I think you were muted for a second there, so I did. Probably everybody did not catch your words completely, but I think they heard you at the end there, so that's good.
Good. Yeah, I just want to make sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, awesome, awesome.
If everybody in the stream can just confirm if you can hear us both fine, that'll be great though. Thank you. We are waiting for drivers to come out. Let's see here. Let's enable some uh, lab data. Let's enable mini map and we'll see who's out first. Is it Rainbow Demon, I think. So we shall see how they do. Let's see the weather forecast here tonight. So I got some really cool overlays and stuff to show you. Hopefully it all works out. Looks like we have no chance of, not a high chance of rain in qualifying. Light cloud, overcast conditions. Going back to light cloud, 9%, 23% chances of rain. That's the maximum. So hopefully no rain. I'm not sure about the race, but at least no rain in qualifying.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be tough with they have rain, but on a dry track with a dry setup and everything on here, I think we should be getting some quick times going around. Um, but definitely when you add rain into that race, it's definitely going to switch things up a little bit. So excited to see what we end up actually getting for race day.
Yeah, what times are you expecting? I know the AM, um, what was it? EU3 had a low 105 as pole, so we'll see. We'll go on board with a lap around Rainbow Demon here. Let's see here. We'll put on a couple of cool overlays and stuff. They have about 80% battery left. A lot of fuel in the car, 12 plus laps. That is interesting. Top speed of 309 as they approach turn 3, down to third gear, and then up through the gears up to fourth, opens up the DRS, has invalidated the lap though. So we shall move on board with someone else behind. I think Sweens is on hot lap, so let's see what Sweens does. Purple sector 1. I did not catch the sector times here. Give me a second. Yeah, here we go. That should be a cool feature. They have their telemetry off, which is sad, but hopefully we can remind them to get that working next time around. Going through the mill section, a very tricky set of corners.
Yeah, sector 2 and 3 are definitely the slower parts of this track, but you're still going 150 miles through those corners. So definitely not like sector 1, but as we see Sweens is finishing up a little bit sliding out into that last corner. And here he comes around the final corner, and he looks like he's going to be putting up a 106.09.
That's a decent banker, I think. Who's next? We'll go on board with N1K here. Not a lot of people have their timing screens on, so we will just switch to the in-game lap data. N1K say, going around the final couple of corners. It's really hard to keep the car on track here, especially if you want to maximize your lap time. M1K though takes provisional pole with a 105.2, very close to our prediction, which is if someone will get a time of under 105 or over 105. So make sure you complete the predictions.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see if we're able to get any drivers into that the 104 range. It's just a very quick time around that track. I believe the 105 ones, we're going to see a lot of those, while 105.2s possibly coming in. But still, we'll see what we can get out of these drivers tonight.
Yeah, for sure. We have Williams of McCrib going through the second sector, a 45 something. I just missed that. Let's see here. The driver in the Williams does not have a lot of battery though, but could be saving for this final stretch. Coming out of the final corner, going through the line, 106.7 put him P9.
That's a pretty good time around the track, putting in P9. So, as we can see, some of those top ones are the 105.2 and the 105.3. So I think some of these drivers will have a lot of time to also make up in these upcoming laps that they've got to go do. So we'll see where everybody actually ends up placing. It looks like we're on electric entry right now, going around on his, it looks like hot lap.
Yeah, as we were talking, Surazzle and Gustavo put in 105.3 and 105.496 respectively. Pretty close at the top there, between the top three. And then you got like a gap between P3 to P4, about half a second. So hopefully these drivers are much closer than as the session goes on with the track evolving and especially on a track like Austria, you expect like at least the top 10 to 15 drivers to be all within a second.
Yeah, it's a short track, which it's hard because there's not a lot of room to make up a lot of this time. It's a very short, quick track, so you lose it in one corner. You just don't have a lot of time to be able to get back. And as we were watching that electric entry, put up a 107.09 that's in P10 currently.
We're currently on board with Hysteria, coming across the line. Not really a representative time. 124.9 puts him P12. As we wait for a second round of, Razzle going through the middle sector. So let's go on board with him. I think they're probably doing like a hot lap cooldown and another hot lap maybe. Not too sure, but they are half a second down on their time, so probably not going to beat their lap time of a 105.3. As we talk about this, let's look at the driver standings from last time around. We have, I think it was Tin Man the Rowdy in P1 with Surazzle in P2 and BK after a fantastic one last week in P3. Chipman, who was the reserve, is in P4. And I'm sorry, I cannot see who's in P5. I think it's a McLaren. I'm not too sure, but for me, those graphics were really down. But I hope you can see all in the screen there. So very early uh, in the season, but yeah, some drivers really doing so. As Krev Ham is retired from the session and someone disqualified. Was it Whitjay?
Yes, I believe it is Whitjay. I wonder what happened both to Krev and Whitjay during that. I wonder if Krev might have crashed out at some point during the lap, but very curious to wonder what happened with those drivers out there.
Yeah, for sure. As we see a McLaren just going off into the grass there. Let's go on board with the championship leader, Tin Man the Rowdy, coming through the final sector, coming across the line with a 105.843. That puts him up to P4. Very respectable time there from the Ferrari driver.
Yeah, that was a great time around this track. Still a little bit behind that top three though, so but definitely capable of being able to get that time. So we will see if he is able to take P1 at the end of this session, but currently M1K is going to be holding that with a 105.2.
As we look at last season's one half of the Constructors' Champion in AM3 for the Williams, this time around in the Alpine. His teammate is in pole position. What can he do? Says it's a purple middle sector of 45 something. So we shall see if they can gain that time through the final corner or final couple of corners. Very tricky. It doesn't take the full advantage of that corner though, but comes across the line with a 105.7. That puts him ahead of Tin Man at P4. That's a pretty decent time from the Alpine driver. Alpine in 1 and 4.
Yeah, I feel like with that combo, they're going to be able to score a lot of points if they're able to maintain themselves in that top 5. But I believe a lot of these drivers are going to be coming in, and I think they're going to be aiming for that mid 105.5 time. So we'll really see if they're going to be able to keep that up. But great lap for Speedy V around that first one.
We're going on board. I think Katya just completed their lap, 105.5. That takes him up to P4. As you can see, there are now 8 drivers in the 105. So it's really looking very spicy here, up at least at the top. Who else do we have on hot laps? Scary Terry is probably about to start their hot lap. So is M1K. Surazzle sets a purple sector 1 with a 106.099, maybe? I think it was. Let's see if they have. They can improve on their time. Bit of a lockup there, going through turn 4, but nothing too bad. Still keeps a good control of the car.
Like he's going through sector 3. Hopefully he's able to get by that with that Ferrari right in front of him with no issue. It looks like they're also on a hot lap, but he's coming around the last sector right here and coming into turn 10. Looks like he was sliding a little bit right there, but it looks like he's going to be putting himself at pole position at a 105.1 at the moment. So provisional pole position right there for Surazzle.
Can M1K respond though? He is 2 tenths up in the middle sector, going through the last couple of corners. Looks like they do not have any ERS left, but will that be enough to grab provisional pole position here? No, it's only P2, 105.204, about 800 off of Surazzle there. So
Yeah, that was a good lap by M1K right there. Sorry about that.
yeah, no, you're good. Let's go on board with Speedy Bullet here. Let's see, are they on a hot lap at the moment? Not too sure. No, they are not. So we will go on board with who's on a hot lap here. Hysteria is not currently. Speedy Bullet going into the pits. Tin Man the Rowdy also going into the pits. Let's go on board with Entre here. He looks like he is on a flyer. Probably go on board with the cool halo shot for Entre. Looks to be very limited on the ERS, 30%, which is quite low, to be honest. But yeah, we should see what their time is going through sector 2, or the second sector split. It's a 45.6. It's 8 tenths up on their time, so they should be good to a mid to low 105s maybe.
Let's put our decaster once they're coming around this final sector. You can get under that sign at like a 53, 54 you're expected within that 105. Hopefully he can get us, he's able to maintain these last couple of corners, and he's coming out of turn 10 down the main straight. I think he's going to give it his all, and then that's going to put him at a 105.9.
Yeah, just inside the 105s there. Gustavo is on a slow lap, so we'll go on board with Surazzle again. He's probably doing another push lap, so can he improve on his time? He can. 105.059, a very tiny improvement, but an improvement nonetheless. Still not into the 104s, but the top 2 are close. Let's see if Gustavo, who's on a flyer. Let's go on board with, let's show some love to Paul and Hal. He's a tenth up on his time going through the first sector. Coming through into turn 4. Takes that smoothly. Angelos has joined the session, so we now have 19 drivers. About 4 minutes left in the session still, so hopefully they have time to get at least one qualifying lap in. A 45.5 or 5, was it 45.5 for him in the middle sector? Didn't pay too much attention, but somewhere in the 45s. 2 tenths up. Going into the final set of corners, can he challenge the top 3? Coming across the line here with a 105.6. That takes him up to P5.
That was a very fast lap for him. So good for the McLaren to get into that P5. Definitely looking like if we can get in that 105.6, 105.5, you're definitely going to be within that top group right there. So great lap for Paulini right there.
As we see, Sweens is probably going into the pits. Chu is on a slow lap here. Let's go on board with ASAP Loggy. Currently going through the middle sector. He's down in P14, but we all know he does have more pace than he's showing here, but he's still a 10th down, so we shall see if he can improve going through the final sector.
Looks like he's coming through that final sector, and if I'm seeing it correctly, it looks like there's starting to rain to be on the track right now. So
Yeah,
if it starts to rain, we may have some drivers maybe putting up their fastest times already in this quali so far.
as we see, light rain is in effect right now, or at least in 10 minutes time, so we're not sure if it's raining or not. But M1K though, we'll go on board with him. He is a slightly under a 10th up on his time. Sector 2 will give us an idea. Yeah, it is slippery out there. He lost a lot of time going through the middle sector. Going through the final set of corners now. He probably choosing to back out. Yeah, I think he is going back into the pits. I think this is it probably for qualifying. Let's see what Katya does. Going through the final sector here. Can they challenge for pole? No. They're down on their time as well. Speedy Bullet going through the middle sector. They're down on their time. Sweens is down on their time as well. So this is probably the end of qualifying right here.
That's what I would assume. I don't think we're going to see anything happening any faster with those intermediates coming on. So I do believe we probably got at least our top 5 probably set in stone right now. So we'll see if any driver attempts to possibly put on an intermediate tire and put a timeout if they have enough time to go ahead and do that. As I did just see one of the kit cars in the gravel turned around in the end of sector 2 right there. So definitely looks like it's getting slippery out there.
Unfortunately for Angel, he's not able to take control of the car. Did you invite him into the lobby? He is in the lobby, right?
Yes, he is in the lobby. I believe we had a couple drivers had that issue last week with not being able to retake their car.
Yeah, this is probably an issue that's, yeah. Let's go on board with Mr. Bow. I believe he's a new signing, currently in the reserve position, down in P13. They're down by 6 tenths, so they're not going to be improving much on their time as well. Rainbow Demon, yeah, you see drivers now just retiring in the pit lane, so this is probably the end of qualifying, and whoever predicted or 105 and over, you were lucky because they didn't get to do their final round of qualifying laps, and nobody is able to get into the 104s.
Yeah, Serrazel was definitely, he was so close with that 105.059, but going around these corners, it's such a fast track, and just a little mistake can cause you such a time difference. So no 104s, but definitely a lot of the drivers made it in that 105, which I think during the race it'll be fun to watch all that.
Let's take a quick peek at the constructors here. Ferrari in P1 with 35, McLaren in P2 with 28, Aston with in P3 locked in with or Kick Sauber on 27, Red Bull in P5 with Mercedes down at the bottom with Williams with 6 points there. So yeah, I think yeah we're just waiting for Surazzle and yeah, Surazzle's choosing to complete their lap, but yeah, it's not going to be representative time, and that should be the end of qualifying right there.
Well, that was a fun qualifying as long as that lasted. Once the rain came in, I feel like that's always a tough one when you start on a dry track and the rain comes in. It's going to be the end of it once that comes and starts hitting. So, good start for all these drivers, though.
Yeah, for sure. I think also what that's why you saw drivers like Surazzle just doing their qualifying laps back to back, I think. Probably because they knew rain was around the corner and they just chose to do an out lap, hot lap, cool down lap, another hot lap. So I think that's what gave the kick Sauber driver the pole today. So yeah, first pole position of the season for Surazzle. Congratulations, and that's the end of qualifying. Going through the order here, let's do that real quickly before it ends. Razzle with P1 with a 105.059, M1K in P2, Gustavo in P3 with Kalche in 4, Tinman in 5, Paul and Hell in 6, Speedy Bullet in 7, Hysteria in 8, P9 is Sweens, followed by Electric Entree in 10, Prev in 11, Chew in 12, Mr. Bow in 13th, ASAP Loggy in 14th, McRib in 15th, Scary Terry in 16, Rainbow Demon in 17, with Jay getting disqualified down in P18. That is qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. So let's quickly go to the race.
I'm excited to watch this race. I think a lot of these drivers, we had a lot of quick times right there. So I think we're going to have a real good bunch of cars right there fighting for that P1 position starting from the start of the race. So I think this should be super, super fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see if we can get out another prediction, or if somebody can help me in the chat, BK or somebody else watching, if you can get out a prediction for, let's say, um, what's a good prediction? Maybe penalties or something like that. That'd be great. Let's see what the weather is, though. Can I see the weather? No, not yet. We'll get to the weather when we get to the weather. But what's your predictions for the race, ladies and gentlemen? Who do you think will win? What's your podium predictions? What's your predictions, Fragley? Who do you think will win this race? Do you think Surazzle will
Um,
be able to convert one to their maiden victory?
I think Surazzle may be able to pull that P1 up just starting in that pole position. We'll see how fast he can pull away. It's like actually the race just started, so we've got Surazzle and M1K fighting out in turn 1 right there. Looks like Surazzle was able to maintain that first P1 position, so
Couple of drivers off track there, but all good. Surazzle going into turn 1, M1K, both of them doing well as Tin Man the Rowdy goes inside of Gustavo and completes the move for P3. Few drivers out there. Scary Cherry losing a couple of positions. We have Widjay and Mr. Bow fighting at the bottom of the field. Not sure what happened to them. Widjay making the move on the Aston Martin. Oh, somebody lost their wing. Not sure who that was. Oh, M1K. Big spin.
It was a big spin. I think he just hit that corner a little bit too hard right there, and that kind of got him into there. So, giving Surazzle the lead of the race right now with a second ahead of Tim the Tapman, or Tim the Rowdy, who is in P2 currently.
Somebody pulling in the pits. Not sure who. Maybe that was a glitch right there, but we see Tin Man in P2, Surazzle with a healthy 1.2 second gap there. No DRS aid for Tin Man the Rowdy, and Gustavo is all over the back of the Ferrari driver here as Angel has joined the session again. Let's see if they can take control of their Aston Martin. Gustavo does complete the move as Katja gets loose there, I think. Let's see if Speedy Bullet can capitalize and make that move up to P5. Katja there shuts the door. M1K losing out big time here, down in P8. Let's take a look at that replay though. M1K coming out of the turn, I think probably turn 6, turn 7, just lost the car there, and yeah, unfortunate for the Alpine driver. As Gustavo though is able to catch back up to Razzle and is now within a second. As we see yellows, McRib. Or no, it's Chewy though, with a spin. Not sure what happened there. As Gustavo sets the fastest lap of the race. Let's see what tires everybody is on. We will.
And I believe Gustavo just lost it in turn 1 as well, as he's dropping down to P17 right there. And I believe he lost the front wing when he went straight into the wall. So unfortunate for him.
Yeah, we missed that unfortunately, but everybody here starting on the medium tire, except for Scary Terry there, who had to pit for a fresh set of hard tires. Kachin though up into P3 for now. A good move inside. I think Speedy Bull. No, I think they were in P4. Probably got the position because of Gustavo's mistake. That's
yeah, it looks like our top 5 right now, they are the big gainers in this race kind of currently. We got Tim the Rowdy with a 3 position change, and also with Kata with a 1 position up as well. So a lot of these drivers, there's a lot of changes happening right now.
As Kreb Ham, we see M1K making the move on, M1K making the move on Hysteria. Let's see what their car status is after the initial spin. There looks like no visible damage on the car, so that is a good sign for M1K to start to make up some time. He has about 2.8 seconds to make up a 2.5 right now to the top 4. So let's see if they can make up the positions. It looks like ASAP Loggy and Krev Ham are in a heated battle right here. Krev Ham is able to take the position, but goes wide though, allows ASAP Loggy to take the position. Krev Ham going into the gravel right there, lost a couple of places, now down in P11.
It looks like both those McLarens. It looks like Krev is still in the dirt right there. Oh, it looks like he has a damaged front left wing, so he's probably just having a hard time trying to take control of that car. I believe I would see him pitting for this lap to get a new one right there.
Yeah, you can see here the left end plate here. They're missing a left front end plate, so oh yeah, they're not. Yeah, that was a big cut into the pits right there from Krev, but let's see if they get recorded or not. But we shall go on board with the top here. Tin Man the Rowdy does make the move for the lead of the race now. Razzle now down to P2, but with the aid of DRS, will he be able to take back up that lead? We shall see going into turn 4. No, Tin Man the Rowdy does keep the position.
Yeah, I believe for Razzle, he just has to stay within that point. 2 or 3 seconds going into that first DRS zone on Sector 1 to be able to make that move. It's pretty hard to defend that one. When the person behind you's got the DRS, they're going to be right on your diffuser so quick with such a long straight. So we'll be able to see if Razzle is able to keep up within that time to keep DRS. Coming into the last turn, looks like he's able to stick there.
Let's see the expected tire life. For the mediums, it's about 14 to 16 laps. So we should see pit stops in the next 10 laps or so. Undercut is pretty powerful, so we shall see what these drivers will do. As, these graphics are completely free, Mr. Destructive. So, yeah, I just got these graphics from Racer Ray, I think it is, and just plug them in using SimHub, and yeah, it's pretty simple and straightforward, to be honest. As we see the top, as Angelos has left the session, and if you can invite him, I don't know if they were able to take control of the car.
I don't believe they were able to.
Yeah, they got booted, so yeah, once you can send them an invite once they're in the game, that would be great. top four sticking together. M1K, after their initial mistake, still coming through the field. What the gap was 2.5 seconds. Now it's down under 1.9. So M1K is definitely catching the top pack. As we see Rainbow Demon have a moment there at the back, and not sure what happened, but ASAP Logi now, as first victim of track limits, is Mr. Bo with 3 seconds down to P15 with Jay, making the move on Ace. Excuse me, there, ASAP Logi for P10, but ASAP Logi looking to come back immediately as Razzle takes the lead of the race. And,
Yeah, it looks like. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, yeah, these. Oh, there's a spinning McLaren. I think it's Electric Entree down in now down in P11. Had a moment there in turn 3, I believe, and lost a couple of positions. That gives. Yeah, he's down behind ASAP Logi. He was running with Colin Hill, I believe, in P7 or P8. But now, unfortunately for Entree, he's now behind the Mercedes of ASAP Logi. As we move back up to the top here, M1K slowly closing in on the top four. The top four are still sticking together. Everyone within 1 second of each other. Let's see if anyone can overtake Tim Mang the Rowdy, as we have a sector 2 yellow. I think it's Chu there.
I believe it was Chu in the sand right there, just pulling his car out right there.
As Sweens has dropped it in turn 1 and is now facing the wrong way. They're trying to get their car back up, facing the track. They're now down in P15. I'm not sure where they're running. I think they were P6 or P7. Yeah, I think they were behind M1K and Paul in Hell. Unfortunately for Sweens, he's now back in P15. M1K and Hysteria battling it out here. M1K down in position now, P6. Hysteria, though, is catching the top 4, so we shall see what they can do over the course of this race. Another set of yellows. I think it was at turn 11. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, it's definitely a slippery track with all of those curves. It's hard to be able to hit those to get the max speed without trying to spin out. So we're definitely seeing a lot of victims right now fall to that, I believe. Just trying to keep it on track, and especially with those track limit penalties, I think that's going to be a big one at the end of the race for all of these drivers.
As Katya and Tin Man exchange the lead here up at the top. Should go on board with the Speedy Bullet here and get a view of the drivers ahead. Speedy Bullet is within the DRS of the top 2, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like that top 4, they are just right behind. They are just straight in a line. And it just looks like they're kind of in a DRS train right now. So we'll see if any of those drivers are able to maximize some of those corners and coming out and getting the most traction for them. As we can see, again, all those drivers are going to be entering after turn 1 right there onto the main DRS straight back into that line. And Tim the Tapman, or Tim the Rowdy, is going to lose positions to both Razzle and Katya in turn 1 as they go almost 3 wide.
Oh, Tin Man loses more than just 1 position. He's now down 3 positions though. But he is fighting back for P3. Takes the inside line and does grab P2 back. So that was a really good move. Katya now moves into the lead of the race. Katya started in P4, now up into P1. Tin Man the Rowdy as well, moving up 3 positions. Razzle losing 2 positions from the start of the race, as M1K, Speedy Bullet as well, gaining 3 positions from the start. So a pretty interesting top 4 here. Very close. Slowly starting to drop Hysteria and M1K now.
Yeah, it looks like those top 4 there just fighting out, and with that DRS, just pulling a little bit ahead of those 2 back there. But we'll be able to see if they're able to get their speed up and be able to catch up. And I think it'll be interesting strategies that we get to see today with these pit stops. And I'm sure these top four, I believe that's going to be a huge part in this race.
Yeah, sorry about that, BK. I don't read the chats. So yeah, I'm just too focused on the race here, uh, bringing all these cool graphics and stuff. So sorry about that, but yeah. As Team and the Rowdy does take the lead of the race. Katya was in the lead now loses 2 positions. So DRS. Oh, Krev has retired from the race. Not sure what happened there. Oh, up in turn 1, I think. We shall see what happened. Is the car right there anywhere? Yeah, I think it was right there. Not sure what happened, but they have DNF'd, unfortunately. So, yeah, pretty tough result for the Haas driver.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm not quite sure what happened, but good it didn't bring out any virtual safety cars or anything like that for these drivers so they could just keep racing. But very unfortunate, as we can see in the top two, Tim Man retakes that position for P1 right now, fighting Mr. Razzle.
Razzle back up into P2 will probably be looking to take the lead in this lap. Very interesting though, because whenever we've seen a driver lead the race, they've typically lost like a couple of positions after the end of the DRS zone. So I would expect these drivers to, like, if you're going into the final lap of the race, I would want to be either P2. I'll probably take P3 as well, but ideally I would want to be P2 going into the last lap. We shall see though what these drivers are thinking. Everyone within 1/10 of each other, as Speedy Bullet capitalizes on a mistake from Katya and now is up into P3. Hysteria, first person to pit to get off those medium tires, presumably going on to a set of hard compound tires.
Very interesting for an early pit for those drivers to get back onto that hard right now. Definitely believe he's going to try to go for that undercut for some of these drivers, but we'll see if that pays off for him at the end of the race. And it does look like we'll just see how these drivers can manage their tires and also...
Oh, what the hell was that? Oh, what the hell is happening? These drivers is just kicking each other. Oh, damn. I just have the replay there. Let's look at what happened. Speedy Bullet does have all of their wings intact. Let's see what's the car info on. Oh, Tin Man the Rowdy does have damage on their front right end plate or wing. They probably have to go into the pits. Oh God, that
looks like Tim Man and Katza both have damage on their front wing plates right there. So I believe both those drivers are going to have to get that fixed at some point.
I don't see any damage for Katya, but it could be because they don't have any data available. Surazzle, though, will be ecstatic about this because he's now in command of this race, 2 seconds ahead of Katya. And he'll be looking to capitalize on that mistake. Yes, you're right. Katya is missing the front light end plate as well. Speedy Bullet, not sure what happened. Let's look at a quick replay there. If I can get the replay. Yeah. Think they were going into turn 4. And yes, a little bit of contact there. M1K just decided to send it right there in between Katya and Tin Man the Rowdy I think before that, let's look at it again. Yeah, Tin Man the Rowdy just shoved M1K right there, so that was really interesting.
Yeah, that was a very interesting move to try right there. Very unfortunate for a lot of those drivers right there. Kind of now having a bigger gap between those top 3, as we see about 2 seconds between 1, 2, and 3 due to that one collision. So interested to see how some of these drivers handle that coming forward, if they're going to try to maintain and run these tires out, or if they're going to try to do an undercut and pit super early and just get onto that hard and keep racing.
As we see VSC Paul and Hell go into the pits probably for a set of hard compound tires. Uh, sorry, Speedy Bullet trying to make a move on Tim and the Rowdy, but no room there. I think with the broken wing, they probably have a faster straight line speed, and Speedy Bullet though is losing out so much time in these corners. Katya is doing really well though with a broken right end plate to be able to keep up with Surazzle right here. So not losing any time. If anything, they've been able to gain time on Surazzle. So yeah, we shall see how that goes. As Speedy Bullet finally makes a move on Tim and the Rowdy. Tim and the Rowdy in the pit lane. We shall see their car info. They are missing a front right end plate. We shall see if they choose to put on a new front wing, and they do. So yeah, unfortunately, that's a lot of time lost in the pits there for Tin Man the Rowdy, our championship leader. Let's go on board with somebody else. Not a lot of drivers making moves there. Hysteria, the first person to pit, is now in P6. M1K also pit, I assume, is now in P7 with a set of hard compound tires.
Yeah, I feel like this is the time to make that pit stop at this moment. Just get onto that hard and just try to pull the rest of the race off on that hard tire. I think is going to be the best strategy for all of these drivers right now. But yeah, with Hysteria pitting early, definitely gaining a ton of positions, I believe, right there, and pulling the undercut under some of those drivers.
Katya, with still a broken wing, is doing extremely well to keep up with the Sprazzle as the top two finally pit. That was a close, pretty slow stop there as Speedy Bullet goes into the pits as well. 3 seconds behind the top two. We shall see where they come out in relation to Witjay. Witjay also pitting. Electric Entree choosing to stay out. I think the driver to look out for here is Hysteria because they chose to pit about 5 laps early. So we shall see where Surazzle comes out in relation to the Aston Martin driver.
It looks like he's going to come out right behind him. So that looks like a big win for Hysteria right now in that P2 pitting early. I believe Electric Entree is still on those mediums, so he'll have to pit. So we've got Hysteria and Surazzle battling out for that P1 position right now.
Katya is still within that 1 second mark for the DRS. M1K is 2 seconds behind this pack. Speedy Bullet, though, losing out a bit to the top leaders there. He's now behind his teammate. It'll be interesting to see if he lets his teammate through, especially on those fresh set of tires for the for Speedy Bullet, the Alpine driver. Let's go on board with the leaders here, Hysteria.
Like they are now passing Entree on that lap, and Hysteria will take P1 going into that first corner with turn 1.
Goes wide though, both go wide.
Looks like Oswald and the McLaren both have DRS overtaking Hysteria in that corner. Couple lockouts right there coming into turn 3.
Yeah, but everybody goes through well though. Electric Entree still in the lead. This would be a crucial move for Surazzle because this would keep Katya at the back of this pack, and if Electric Entree can hold him off, he can take that lead over a second through the next course of the next couple of corners, and would be in prime position for the victory with Katya now down at P4 and still with a broken wing, I think. Let's go on. Let's see. We can't see their telemetry, unfortunately. As Electric Entree, though, decide probably going into the pits. No, they just lose position. Hysteria, though, out of nowhere, is now in contention for the victory here, fighting with Surazzle for the lead of the race.
Yeah, both these drivers are doing great laps around it. Definitely Hysteria's on 4-lap older hard tires than Surazzle, so we'll see if that plays any part coming in the end of the race as Hysteria overtakes in the DRS. And I was looking, and it does look like Katya still does have wing damage. That wing didn't get repaired when they went into the pits, so I feel like for Katya, they're just gonna have to really focus on just keeping it on track and not losing any time with the time penalty.
As we see Speedy Bullet MYK going a little bit wide there, but he has let his teammate through. He's now up into P5, all over the back of the McLaren of Electric Entre. This is going to be a crucial overtake for the Alpine driver over the McLaren of Entre. Yeah, pretty easy overtake now. McLaren does still hold on to the position. I think they're going to pit, so the Alpine should make a move here. Yep. Pretty easy overtake. His teammate, though, VSC Paul in Hell, I think they stopped pretty early, too, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what their race... yeah, they're on 5-lap old hard tires, so they pit a little bit early, I think, and they have come out pretty close to the top 5. So Razzle on 3-lap old hard tires, Hysteria as well on 3. No, wait, Hysteria is probably on 7-lap old hard, so it will be interesting to see how much they can hold up with this top pack as Katya makes a move for P2 of this race. But crucially, though, Razzle is now over a second on Katya at the moment, so we shall see how this plays out.
Yeah, Hysteria and Katya are both amazing drivers, so I think we're going to be seeing some fighting between them, which might be exactly what Sarazzle wants, just give him a little bit of that time to slow those two down, trying to get to the back of him. But these drivers are doing a real amazing job right now going through. These top 5 are very quick, and you can see coming into turn 1, we've got the Alpines and Hysteria right there fighting for that position. Got DRS open.
As we see, Hysteria is pretty low on battery though. So yeah, it could be interesting. Let's go on board with Hysteria to see what their battery level is like. Oh, big lockup from the Aston Martin here. They're on 20. Oh, Angel and Electric Entre have retired from the session. Safety car. Ooh.
Big crash between those two drivers, I believe, right there.
Yeah, I'm just going and seeing here. Gustavo is probably. Oh no, their cars are gone. So yeah, unfortunate for the Aston Martin and the McLaren. Let's see what happens. As Razzle, interestingly enough, does not pit. It will be interesting to see if Katya pits for a new front wing. That will probably cost a few positions, but I'm assuming they would, though. Yes, they are going to pit for a new front wing. Hysteria. This also brings in Tin Man the Rowdy back into picture, though. They also choose not to pit. Let's see what their tire graphic is. Still getting used to these new graphics, so excuse me for a little bit of delay. But they're on 6-lap old hard tires, as well as Razzle, I think. Now they're on 5-lap old hard tires, so we'll be interested to see what these drivers do. Let's go and check out tires. Yeah, everybody going on to a fresh set of medium tires, so yeah, not too unexpected. The Ferraris,
Oh no.
both, sorry about that, but just wanted to update that both the Ferraris choosing not to pit, which is interesting.
Yeah, I feel like right now with about, what is that, 12, 13, 14 laps left, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I feel like you got to go through on that medium tire possibly. But for Sarazzle, that's definitely, it looks like he's going to be staying, looks like he's staying out. It does not look like Sarazzle is going to be changing any tires, and just hoping to keep everyone behind him on those medium tires.
Yeah, for sure. As we see a switch of position here between ASAP Lockie and yeah, not too sure why these drivers are slowing down. But interestingly enough, though, Katya has come out in P4, and even though they changed their front wing, I think it looks like. right? I do not see any damage on the car. They still come out in P4, so uh, either everybody had some sort of damage, or they just had a magical pit stop where their front wing got changed in a second. I don't know.
Must have been a fast
Oh,
change right there, and a 10-second time penalty going out to, was that to Sweens?
no, it's to Mr. Bow here, down in P12. So not sure what happened there. They're at the back. They had a collision with Sweens apparently, and it's a 10 seconds. So unfortunate. We still have 16 drivers left, and yeah, 3 DNFs, Angelos, and Electric Entree. Probably they had a moment going into turn 2, turn 3. And Krev, not sure what happened to him, but 3 drivers not finishing. So yeah, we shall see what this race unfolds.
We have a mix of the grid. It looks like about half the grid still is on their hard tires, and I'm assuming they're just going to try to play this out for the rest of the race. And we've got the other half on fresh medium tires right now. So interesting call to see who's going to be able to come out with this. I believe, as you could imagine, the medium tires are going to be faster than those older hard tires. So we're going to see how some of this top 3 is going to try to defend those faster drivers behind them.
Yeah, for sure. You see, I think Mr. Bow going into the pits after the collision with Sweens, I think they changed their front wing as well as got rid of that 10-second time penalty, which is probably a smart thing to do. You don't want any of those 10-second penalties. Let's take a look at the penalties actually to see what these drivers are on. Bo, no, they did not give their 10 seconds, which is interesting. Gustavo, we have at 6 seconds, and Bo with 13 seconds, your maximum. And then you got Sweens, Scary Terry, Chew, and Rainbow with only 3 seconds. So pretty clean though, which I did not expect actually. But fair play to these drivers. They've done a good job.
Yeah, with the top 10 having no penalties right now, it's a pretty good. They got to stay clean. They still got about 10 laps left to go, 12. So we'll see if these drivers are going to be able to. I don't know how many warnings each one's got. So I think that's going to play a huge part coming into this last bit of the race when all these drivers are going to be really trying to push to gain those positions. And we're just going to have to see how well they go. And it looks like the Rainbow Demon has another 3-second penalty for a collision.
As we see Sweens going into the pit lane, as Razzle still maintaining the lead of the race after a good restart. But we're going on board with Katya and Hysteria here. They're going to be looking to make up those positions on those hard runners up at the top. With Jay and Katya going at it, going into turn 4. Katya with those fresh mediums should be easy. It should be an easy move. Diving down the inside into turn 4, completes that move up into P3. A little bit of contact there, but nothing too bad. Fair overtake there. Hysteria as Gustavo. What happened there? Gustavo has retired from the race.
Oh, and was he in the wall right there?
Not too sure. We'll go back up at the top. Katya still in P3. Hysteria, though, is looking to make the move on Witjay here. Trying to catch up to Katya for the lead of the race. M1K also sticking all over the back of Hysteria.
Does look like these drivers have got real close together, and it looks like we've got ASAP also coming down into turn 1 right now, and Hysteria's also taking a position right there.
Looks like a bit of contact maybe with M1K and Witjay, but both Hysteria and M1K do make up positions there. As we see, Rainbow Demon is probably a lap down in the midst of this pack. Speedy Bullet and ASAP Loggy battling it out. Speedy Bullet does come out a winner there. Paul in Hell. And, oh, did I see a front wing flying somewhere? No. Could just be debris on track. But VSC Paul in Hell and ASAP Loggy going at it.
This may be a bold prediction, but from the looks of it right now, we might have rain coming in at the end of this race, possibly. It looks like it's getting cloudier out there, so I'm interested to see if that's a possibility at one point to end this race.
Let's actually look at the weather map. So overcast conditions in 10 minutes with rain, 72% chance of rain in the next 15 minutes. So that could be an interesting finish as Katya, Razzle tries to make the movement, Tin Man tries to make the movement to Razzle, no go there. As M1K moves up a position up into V4, trying to catch up to the top 3.
Yeah, I believe that top 3, they are so close together. It's going to be a very tight fight for all of them. And then it looks like we've got Hysteria also racing right behind M1K, trying to keep up and maintain within that second to hopefully keep DRS going into that sector 1 right there.
As we see Speedy Bullet trying to get back up the field there. Down in P6 after the round of pit stops, 2.5 seconds behind Hysteria. M1K with the fastest lap of the race with a 106.7. Let's go back up top here. Katya all over the back of Tin Man the Rowdy. Razzle blinking all the way going into turn 3. Bit of contact. 3 wide action here. Katya and M1K do come together. Katya does grab the lead of the race, but will they lose the position coming down into turn 4? Let's see here. Both. Oh no, it's actually Katya does not have DRS, and Tin Man the Rowdy goes back up into the lead of the race. And I believe it is raining, ladies and gentlemen. I see a few drops of rain coming in, so it could actually be helpful for the guys who have new tires rather than the old tires, as Katya loses a position to who's that? Razzle. Hysteria gains position on M1K back up into P4. It's all going down here. Katya, Razzle, what happened to him? He's going into the pits. Razzle is making a bold call here to go on those intermediate tires, I think. Oh, this is going to spice things up, ladies and gentlemen. As we see, Tin Man the Rowdy is now 1.2 seconds up on Katya. Hysteria all over the back of the Racing Bull driver. M1K closely following this pack. This is going to spice it up.
We'll be interested to see. We saw how fast in qualifying drivers started to lose it when that rain started coming in. So that might be a bold move for Razzle, and I'm interested to see when we're going to see the rest of this grid decide to pit for those intermediate tires, or if they're going to try to rough it out for these last 6 to 7 laps for them. I'm very, very interested to see how this is going to play out.
Razzle, as you can see here, on those fresh set of intermediates. So let's see what their gap to the leader is, if we can. Doesn't show up for some reason, but okay. Oh yeah. Gap ahead is 8.9 seconds to Mr. Bow. So we shall see if they can catch up to the top set of drivers. As
it looks like Katya also just pitted for intermediates.
So does M1K. We shall see what or where Razzle comes out in relation to the as Chewy has left the session. If you can please invite them back. Was it the right move for Razzle to pit so early, though? We shall see. M1K and Katya, though, come out ahead of Razzle. So Razzle did not gain any time by pitting that early, but I tell you who gained time, though, is Katya, because they're now 2.8 seconds ahead of M1K, which is surprising. Tin Man the Rowdy with 6 laps to go. Will be interesting to see if he just guns it and just see what happens. As Paul in Hell gets a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, it's going to be for some of these drivers, if they're still in that medium and hard, is just to be able to maintain that control and avoid all these penalties if possible. So,
Yeah, looking at the leaderboard here, Katya is 19 seconds behind the leaders, the first driver on those intermediates. As we see is there, oh, Mr. Bow, I think, is round, coming into the final corners. Not sure what happened to him. Is there any damage on though, for the driver? Yeah, they're missing a right end plate. Unfortunately for him, he might have to pit, regardless of the tire choice. But like I was saying, Katja is now 17 seconds, sorry, 19 seconds behind the leaders, and does need to catch by about 5 seconds per lap, maybe 4 seconds per lap, to be able to win this race. So. I don't know if this is a strategic masterclass from Tim and the Rowdy, or is it going to be a strategic masterclass from Katya? We shall wait and find out. We shall go back to the interval times here.
yeah, we've only got about 5 laps left. So, if some of these drivers don't think that the rain's affecting them that hard, I mean, might as well just try to race it out for the rest of the race and see where they're at, because pitting is just definitely going to be losing them time in that. So, interested to see if those top 6 on hard tires and mediums just decide to see what happens. I mean, it
Yeah,
looks like a M1K with a 3-second time penalty as well.
as we see here, McRib holding out the inter-tire runner of Katya, though. They seem to be doing pretty well. Katya is not catching the leading pack with as much pace as they need to win this race. With 4 laps to go as for this, as Bo gets another 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not the greatest of races for the debutant. As we see Hysteria closing up to McRib. Let's see again what the gap to the leader is. Katya is still 19 seconds behind the leader of Team Man the Rowdy, so they're not particularly catching the leaders here, unfortunately for them. So yeah, let's see what the weather map says in terms of the weather for the next few minutes. Is this light rain for the next 10 to 15 minutes? So if that's the case, maybe Tin Man the Rowdy and the top 5 are good enough to finish this race on those set of tires.
Yeah, it's starting to look like it with these last 3 laps coming in. If the rain's going to stay where it is right now, they may have made the right decision just to stay out and be able to keep fighting on those hard tires.
As Razzle has a mistake coming out of turn 1. As you can see, they're not having a great time. They were leading the race and now is down in P11. Let's look at the tire, their car info a little bit. Yeah, you can see right there, their rear tires are overheating. That could be because of the spin, but let's look at Katya. Look at that. Their inside, like the rear tires are at 90 and 92, which for the intermediate tires, they should be somewhere around 65 to 75, or somewhere around there, plus or minus 5 degrees. But right now they're at 90, so they're probably overheating their tires by a lot. But Tin Man the
Yeah,
Rowdy is keeping it pretty smooth. Although their fronts are a little bit cold, it shouldn't be as bad.
no, it definitely looks like they made a strategic decision that is going to play out in their favor. A 3-second time penalty for Katya for, I'm assuming, track limits.
Yeah, as Katya is catching ASAP Loggy, but it's about a second a lap probably, not by a lot. So, I don't think they're gonna make it to the podium here, unfortunately. Same with Hysteria. If you look at their tire temperatures, they're just skyrocketing at the moment. So, oh, Scary Terry is retired from the session. Not sure what happened there. Oh, it's in the pits, so unfortunate for them. As we go back up at the top, Speedy Bullet still 2.7 seconds away from the leader. It was about 3.5, I think, maybe at the start, but right now they're about 2.5 seconds. We'll be interested to see if they can make up the positions. Were you able to invite you into the lobby?
I believe I got. Let me try again real quick.
Yeah, I think you sent out an invite, but you know, if you don't get back in, it's not completely our fault, unfortunately. As we see Katya and with Jay here fighting it out for P4. After this, it's Paul and Hell, who's 3.5 seconds away with a lap and a half to go, which that could be an optimistic, optimistic overtake if they need to make that move. VSC Paul and Hell looking good for P3 finish. Would be their first podium. Tin Man the Rowdy, who has been on podium twice, will ascend to the top of the leaderboard this time if they were able to keep the position. So we shall see. Could be a heated conversation in the interview booth after a incident between the top two here. So we shall find out more. But Katya is catching VSC Paul and Hell, and they are within a second, so we shall see what happens.
Definitely catching up. We'll see. They got about one more lap of racing to go, so
As now they're all over the back of VSC Paul and Hell. Hysteria also making a move up on Woodjay as M1K retired. Oh, coming out of the final corner, I think. Oh, look at that. The car was completely wrecked. As VSC Paul in Hell is still able to maintain the position, but Katya with those intermediate tires should be a completely easy overtake and gets back up into P3.
yeah, so it does look like Kaya still with those intermediates being able to catch up and be able to still place in that top three right now. So great job on them, and let's see if they're able to maintain that coming into these select two sectors for them.
Paul has 3 seconds in terms of time penalties on track. As we go on board with your top two. I don't think Tin Man the Rowdy or Speedy Bullet is going to catch Tin Man the Rowdy. Tin Man the Rowdy. Oh, DRS is disabled finally. As Tin Man the Rowdy comes home to win the race. Speedy Bullet in P2. Katya with probably a strategic blunder maybe comes out in P3 with Hysteria also strategic blunder maybe P4. Paul and Hell P5. Actually, Vijay goes into P5. Paul and Hell P6. ASAP Logi P7. McRib a few seconds behind with their best finish of the season, I think, in P8. Choose AI finishes in P9. Not sure if they completed 90% of the race though. Surazzle is able to get a point. Oh, actually, they move up to P9 with the time penalties. Moves up into P10. Swain's P11. And you can see, I think Bo is in P12, so not sure who is in 13. Well, definitely an interesting race, especially with the rain at the end there.
Yeah, that was definitely a big change, I think, for the drivers. I think there's a couple more laps. I think that rain might have affected the race a little bit more, but it looked like the rain was just there for some pretty effects to finish off the race today.
Yeah, for sure. But we see a all United States podium here with the Ferrari of Tin Man the Rowdy getting his first win of the season. Speedy Bullet back racing in the grid gets a very good P2 and a good drive from Katya as well with the broken wing initially and then jumping on to those intermediates gets P3. That's your podium for Austria here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was a great race from some of those drivers, so I knew this one was going to be a fun one. It's a very fast track, and especially with that rain, it was all up in the air. And to see some of these drivers where they're at, I think it's just going to make the competition a little bit more exciting coming into the future in the next race.
For sure. As we go through the results here with the Ferrari of Tim Andrade getting P1, Speedy in P2, Katya in P3 with Hysteria in P4, with Jay in P5 with Paul in L6, ASAP 7, Rib 8, Razzle in 9, Chew in 10. Sweens outside the points in 11, Bow in 12, Rainbow into 13, M1K in 14, Scary Terry in 15, and your DNFs is Gustavo, Angel, Electric Entree, and Creb Ham. Well, that was a fun one. Yeah, with a driver of the day. Congrats on that drive, for sure. we shall be moving on to the interviews. Uh, if you can just let them know that we'll be conducting interviews, I will invite them into the booth. As we wait for everyone to show up here, just give me a second. Trying to get in Katya, Tin Man the Rowdy, and not sure what Speedy Bullets tag here. It's can you tell me what Speedy Bullet's tag is? Because when I type in Speedy Bullet, uh, they don't seem to show up. So I think it's wait, I think I got it. Hang on now. Do you know what Speedy Bullet's tag is? I'm not able to find him, which is unfortunate. Speedy Bullet, no.
Speedy Bullet 4.
No, they have some different username, unfortunately. Do you know what that is?
Um, God-given talents 4.
Okay, let me profile. I'm not able to invite him. Is something weird. Let me try that again as we wait for these drivers. God's given talent. I'm not getting his username. God's given talent. No. What's his profile name? Is it ZZ something or is it Speedy
Oh,
Bullet? I'm not too
Speedy
sure.
Bullet 4 is what I believe. I'm seeing it right now.
Yeah, I'm not able to see him though. Let's see here. God's. Yeah, I should be able to. When I type in their name in the VC, I do not get it. So, uh, you know what I'll do? I will unlock this VC so they can join in. If you could please tell them to join in, I will get started here in a second. Think Katya won't be joining in maybe. So, yeah, we got Speedy Bullet and we got Tin Man here. So let's start off with the Alpine of Speedy Bullet. Hey, Speedy, how you doing, man?
What's up, man? Long time no speak. How you?
Yeah, I'm good, dude. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Glad to be back.
Oh, happy to have you back. Good race, eh? P2, not a bad one for a comeback.
Yeah, it could have went another way, but I'm happy for the results I got.
Yeah, I think we saw a very interesting incident between the race winner and yourself. Uh, can you talk us through what happened there?
Uh, basically, I was, we were going through the left-hander, and I was trying to give him room or whatever. I don't know how many of them it was, but I was trying to give him room, and all of a sudden, it's like his car is like it's like it jerked and hit me, so it made me spin and go through go through the way I was supposed to go and all that. So like, I really didn't know what happened because I'm a controller, so. And I got a very, very steady thumb. So I was like, I don't know what happened. My car didn't jump, so I don't trying to see where they came from. But, it always is what it is.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Maybe goes to the storage room or something like that. But good race though. At the end there, we saw light rain. Although DRS wasn't disabled until probably the last corner or something like that. But talk us through that because you guys decided to stay out when you saw others pitting, especially the leaders. What did you think? Was it like really difficult to drive at that point, or were you like, okay, let me just stick with the strategy and see what happens, kind of deal?
I really it didn't get unbearable until like the last 3 laps. Like the last 3 laps, it was terrible. Like I was just trying to keep it on the track, and I was feathering off the gas and stuff, and it was a mess. But the first, when it first started raining and stuff, I trusted my skills and stuff like that, like to be able to keep it on the track and still have a decent pace and stuff like that. So I just took a chance, and it paid off. So I'm happy for the results.
Yeah, because initially it looked like the inter runners weren't catching until like the last two, 3 laps maybe. So yeah, I think it paid off. So yeah, congratulations. Hopefully next week it's at the top step, but good comeback though.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Speedy Bullet, P2 finisher. Congratulations. Now let's move on to our race winner, our resident, podium. Uh, he's been on the podium like 3 times, so let's say a podium regular here in season 14. Tin Man the Rowdy. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. That was unexpected, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you started at P5, P6, moved your way up through the field. Like I asked Speedy Bullet here, talk us through what happened. I don't know what lap it was, but looked like you jerked a little bit, at least on camera from what we could see. I don't know if you, caused the back end to kind of get loose there or something like that, but yeah, it looked like you were unstable a little bit there or something. Talk us through what happened there.
Well, initially when I got DRS, I knew the one guy was there, but I didn't know he was there. And then as we were going down, I was trying to get the run back on that guy, but I saw where he went, so I knew I wouldn't get there. So I just tucked back into the left. But then I saw I was getting a massive run on him, so I thought, oh well, maybe I can shoot it. But then right when I was getting ready to go right, like right when I turned, I saw his car in my rear view go to the same direction. I was like, oh crap, 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 crap. So I hurried up and tried to jerk it to the left without hitting him, and then I know I touched him, but I didn't know what I caused. Because from what I remember, he was still right there, but I ended up getting front wing damage from it and all that. I don't know if he got anything or not, so if I did give you anything, I'm sorry about that. It was not totally unintentional.
Yeah, I think both of you were damage free. I think it was somebody else who actually got damaged. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but yeah.
I had to get a wing replacement in pits whenever I finally did go in when I went to the hard because of whatever happened.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, but yeah, talk us through that safety car though, because it looked like everybody else went into the pits. You and your teammate Whitjay decided to stay out along with somebody else. I forget. I think it was ASAP Locky or something like that, but or Paul in Hell, I think it was. But you guys
I think
decided,
it was him.
yeah, and you guys decided to stay out. It looked like you were gonna keep the position, but at the end, especially with the last 2, 3 laps, like Speedy mentioned, it got really unbearable. So talk us through why you decided to not pit initially for the first time, and then not pit for the inters as well.
Well, I didn't pit on the safety car because my hards I just had pitted not too long ago, like maybe 4 laps prior. It might have been a little bit more than that, but they were only at like 5%. I'm like, well, there's no point in switching to mediums or whatever. I know the rain's coming, but I'm like, guy in front of me is on hards. My teammates are right behind me. These other guys are on newer-ish mediums. I'm like, well, I'll just stay out because I know the rain's coming. There's no point in me sacrificing and losing track position when I just got what I had lost back from the incident. And then with the enters, I saw the guys in front go in, but I'm like, not that wet. Like, I was able to hold grip. I was doing fine. And like Speedy said, the last 3 laps, that's when it started to get a little loose for me. And then the last 2, it started getting hard. I almost lost it on the second to last lap, but I caught it. And then in the last lap, I was like, all right, he's 3 seconds back. I'm just going to take it easy and nurse it the rest of the way. So I just braked super, super early, was upshifting just to prevent wheel spin. I knew he was coming, but I'm like, I have confidence that I can stay in front of him even with nursing it.
Yeah, I think like you said, it was good tire management though. You kept it clean, and yeah, apart from the last three laps, it looked like you were having it pretty easy right there at the top. So, I don't know. Is have you been on all three steps of the podium this season? If I know you were in P2
Yes,
last.
so far this season, in Australia, I was second. Jeddah, I was third. And in Australia, well, or Austria here, I was first. It's my 25th podium with you guys here at Costin, my eighth win. So I
Uh,
hope to keep adding to that.
oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, welcome back to the winners. Yeah, in a winter step again, and hopefully next time I think we're in Barcelona. So, yeah, hopefully that is going to be a fun one. Yeah, hopefully a close fight again, like this one was. Uh, yeah, we'll see you next time around. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations again, Speedy, on the P2. Congratulations to Katya on the P3. And yeah, with that being said, I think we can move towards the end of the stream. Thank you, guys. I haven't
Look,
ended the
look.
stream. I haven't ended the stream yet, guys. So if you can
Oh,
hold on a second. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for sticking around with us tonight. We're back tomorrow for some action here in COS. First up, it's going to be EU2 at, I believe it's 9 p.m. UK time and 4 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. And then we got AM2, same time as AM3, which is 9 p.m. Eastern. Probably, I think it's like 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Or AM, sorry, UK time. So yeah, if you are in watching here in the Twitch chat and not following us yet, make sure to give us a follow and join the community. Link is right there. We got some really fun racing going on. Like you saw tonight, a lot of competition here, a lot of drivers in different skill levels as well. So you'll definitely find someone who's close to your pace. And yeah, make sure to join. And yeah, we'll see you all next week here in AM3 in Barcelona for the Spanish Grand Prix. So yeah, with that being said, on behalf of Fragley and myself, see you all next time around. Take care.